Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got videos today from AntonDaniels.
I'm going to get really vulnerable and really honest with you guys and share something that's a little bit embarrassing because I just have a feeling that
you're a loser? And you've been a loser most of your life, and now you're definitely a loser because you're almost at the end of your life and you didn't get anything you wanted.
So many other women in midlife, and men too, are feeling exactly like I'm feeling and going through what I'm going through right now. And maybe we can all commiserate together. I have never
Let's all just be miserable together.
been more lonely in my entire life. I'm 51 years old. I do not work outside the home, so I don't get to go to an office every day and see people. My husband...
Like, now people are saying it as if, like, it's a flex. Like, it's a good thing. Like, oh, I don't get to go to the office every day, so now I'm lonely. That's a dream for most people, to not be able to go to the office, have to sit through traffic to get to work. But now it's a detriment because now you're lonely.
And works and then does catering on the side, so he's gone a lot. I have one kid left at home for another 2 months before she goes off to college, and she works and is with friends 99% of the time.
Yeah, 18-year-olds don't want to hang out with their moms.
The other 1%, she's in her room. My other 2 kids don't live at home anymore, and I don't have any friends right now. That's embarrassing for me to admit. I had 2 really good friends, and over the last month, both of those friendships have just kind of disappeared, and I don't know why. One of the people lives out of town. The other one lives in town. They have both kind of ghosted me and my whole family recently.
I wonder why.
Sure what's going on there. I'm really lonely. I live in the same town that I've lived in for 20 years. For the majority...
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I've lived in California, like LA, OC, maybe not the same town, but I've lived in Southern California most of my life. I've been in the United States for 34 years now?
Of that time, I had a very, very toxic and emotionally abusive friendship. And because of that, I did not have a lot of friends outside of that friend and her friend group. So when I was finally able to shut the door on that friendship and walk away from it, which is the best decision I ever made, it left me with no friends.
Yo, y'all got to get out and y'all got to be a lot more social. This is another reason why it's important for y'all to work outside of the home.
I also agree. I think it's a privilege to be able to work from home. But when you work from home, you kind of have to balance your life out by going out a little bit more. Maybe not like out spending money, but out in public. Maybe take walks at the mall or something. You know, a lot of people actually do that. So,
and a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like the suggestion that I make when I say, yo, you need to actually go to work, because for a lot of people, traditionally, long term.
All right, I can agree with Anton on this one. For a lot of people, yes, it's actually almost necessary for them. They never seem to get the work done right, or their life just gets a little bit out of whack when they work from home.
Even before social media, working outside of the home was a form of social, being social.
True.
And meeting new people and friends. And that's why a lot of people's identity was tied up in what they did for a living, right? Especially, with my experience. And again, I think that I grew up in a golden age where I was able to see life outside of social media. We didn't have computers.
I grew up in the golden age also. Just I was younger than Anton growing up, but I saw it. I saw it without computers and the internet. I saw how the world was. It was actually pretty cool. Everything was pretty cheap. You weren't so worried about looking goofy or messing up or anything because you're gonna get recorded everywhere. Like the surveillance that we have now, not just from like the government or something, just in general, because everybody has freaking cameras on their phones and cameras on them. It's just so different.
We didn't have social media to the extent that we have it now, and you hung out, you went to the bar, even after work a lot of times, and being out and about and going to lunch and stuff. And so working from home, I think personally, has truly crippled a lot of people's perspectives and views towards life, and it's isolated them. I know for me, my personal mental health, and that's the reason why I actually come into the studio every day. This background and stuff is actually a studio where I have multiple different places that I can record and things like that, and live stream and do interviews and everything. Being at the studio and getting outside and getting fresh air and meeting people and being in the city and stuff has reinvigorated my desire for success, and it makes you more social when you get out.
I agree with Anton. I told you guys before I got the donut shop, I would always never be home. I would finish up my videos in the morning and I would always just be out meeting clients, doing other things, maybe just going have lunch and just seeing the world a little bit more. Because yeah, I was at home doing videos for hours at a time, days at a time. I don't get to socialize that much. I mean, yeah, I socialize with you guys, but it's not like you guys talk back to me directly, just only in comments. So when I go out now, I'm at the donut shop every day. I talk to people literally every day, constantly coming into the donut shop. I have plenty of regulars that come in every day, multiple times a day, have conversations with them. It's actually nice to interact with people constantly because it kind of sharpens your skills, sharpens your speaking abilities, sharpens your thought process of what to say. Maybe don't say certain things because you're having a lot more conversations. You're talking about a little bit more random things. You have more things to talk about in general just because there's more people to talk to.
Out and you interact with people and you meet new people and friends and all of that. And that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy being by myself, but what it does mean is that I'm not isolated with my own thoughts alone to where you then crave other people, because we are social creatures, right? We need companionship. Even in prison, a lot of times you hear about people that would prefer to be in general population versus being in isolation, and they go crazy about themselves because we're not necessarily meant to be alone. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it.
Remember, like, what is the major punishment in prison is complete isolation.
Being by yourself, but we are social creatures.
In a town that I've lived in for 20 years, you would think I would just have a ton of friends in this town. But
no, I mean, I lived in the same town for like 20 plus years. I didn't make friends inside the town just because I lived in the town. No, I just made friends wherever I went.
they don't. And I feel like at this stage, everyone already has their group. And I know people are going to say like, oh, that's not true, blah, blah. It is true. I live in a small town. Like, I'm not going to be able to break into any of these friend groups. I already know that. So I'm lonely. And I never thought
negative mentality usually carries with you in real life, and you start to
Always.
feel that and you see it on a person. And that's another reason why they can't break into these groups.
Yeah, because you look like miserable. If you're always like this Debbie Downer, why would anybody want to hang out with you?
I never thought at 51 that I would feel this lonely. And I'm really hoping that I don't have to spend.
If I was her husband and I seen this online, I would be like, what the F are you doing? This is not a conversation that we need to be having on social media, and you're embarrassing me.
I don't know. Is she still married?
Of my life as lonely
She's talking as if she was divorced and just had kids.
as I feel right now. I've never been a person who's had a ton of friends, but I have never wanted friends more than I do now. But not just like the shallow friendships. I want true, like, emotional connection friends. I do have.
It's weird how women like crave this emotional connection. Like me and the boys, yeah, we were connected. We've known each other for a very long time, but we're never like craving emotional connection with each other. Sometimes me and the boys just sit in the car while I'm driving and not talk at all. And then when we're eating, we just eat. There's a lot of moments of silence between us, and it's a-okay because we don't have to talk constantly.
I have two of my best friends from high school that are still in my life, but they don't live here. And so it's not the same. I don't
like she
have
need to
any
take some
friends
trips,
here locally that
be
I can
honest with you.
see on a regular
Jump on a
basis and
plane
go do
and
stuff
go
with.
into the office.
And with my husband gone a lot, I end up just being alone.
I literally thought this woman was divorced. I didn't realize she had a husband the way she was talking.
And I do know that being alone and being lonely are two different things. And sometimes I love being alone. But lately I have found that for me, being alone means being lonely. And I'm lonely. Midlife for me is lonely. Can anybody relate?
It's just so sad.
Let me know.
So I'll admit, I am a little lonely lately. I don't know.
Isn't this what we told them? This isn't what the Godfather said? Winter is coming. As you age, things are going to get worse for you ladies, especially when you don't have kids. That last one actually had kids. So
I think I'm also like a little down or whatever. But I would love to meet somebody, but I don't feel like really putting forth the effort. I know that sounds bad. I went on dating, Facebook dating a little bit today, and oh my God, it's terrible. I don't know how I ever met so many people on there. Like, I met a lot of nice guys, and some like were not for me, and some remained friends, and some like I was with for a little bit and I liked, and some quality men that I'm still friends with. But oh my God, it's just a mess. Like, my skits are not a lie. They're not at all.
Why isn't she able to pick one to settle down with, and that's the end of the conversation?
You met with so many men, good men.
I don't understand.
I'll admit, I'm kind of lonely.
They're just not all hot chadrones.
But I don't really feel like making the effort of going to sit at like a high-end bar restaurant, not like a bar. Like, I'm not talking about like a random bar, but like a nice like restaurant, like, I don't know, Roost Chris or STK at Disney Springs or something like nice, and sit there and just have a drink or dinner or whatever.
Well,
and
she's in
possibly
Orlando.
Meet somebody that way. I just don't really feel like doing
I'm
that.
assuming.
So I need like the Kool-Aid man in the form of like a great guy to either come through my front door, or I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to meet someone. Or, and this is going to sound weird, I kind of want to just be with someone I was with before, like, and just hang out and have a good time and do things together.
This feeling is exactly why a lot of women just go back to situationships that they were before. It was familiar. They don't want to put in any extra work to know anybody or get to that person to like them anymore. But this last person that they dealt with already somewhat likes them. They already somewhat like that person. So they just stick with it.
Or whatever. I don't really feel like meeting somebody new either, unless they're going to be really great for me. I don't know. I haven't dated since like end of July last year. I just was having like a few bad dates, one after the other, just not clicking, not like bad dates, just like I didn't feel any chemistry or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just
They
not.
need to feel the butterflies.
I'm a little lonely, but I kind of
They
just
weren't
want
Chad
someone
Rowe.
I've been with before and kind of just someone to do things with, but that I am attracted to. Is that asking too much?
Yes.
I'm
For
50
you.
and I'm lonely. I went to dinner the other night with a group of friends, and while we had a really wonderful time, the whole time we were there, I felt like I was almost kind of floating above, watching it all happen and wondering, does anyone actually really see me? And this is not on the women that I was with. They are wonderful. This is just something I've been noticing about myself, that I'm probably lonely more often than I should be.
That's what happens when you're invisible to men. Without the men's validation and men's attention, they're lost.
My kids is doing an internship in Spain this summer. The other just graduated. He's working and spending all this time with his friends, so he's hardly ever at home, which is great. That's how it's supposed to go, but they just don't need me like they used to. I feel like at this stage in life too, all kinds of connections that I had like through the kids' schools and things like that, some of those are dying out. And it's not that I'm just sitting alone in a dark room or alone in my car like I am right now. It's that you just kind of feel invisible. It's like you hold it all together. You do
It's because you are.
all of the things, and you do wonder, does anyone really see?
I mean, it's just like the old man that's 50, that's like barely able to walk and, kind of old, decrepit and stuff. He's pretty invisible too. Like, men are invisible also if they did not build themselves. Like, which is most men.
me? Does anyone know me, get me? I find myself thinking all the time, like, who am I when I'm not needed in the same way? And honestly, I have no clue. I'm 50 and I really want to figure that out. But I wanted to at least start this conversation because if I'm lonely, I'm sure somebody else out there is lonely.
There are so many women, and this is so tripped out hearing this conversation because there's a tale of two worlds. On one front, you'll hear a bunch of people say, well, I'm trying to stay away from people because I want to be by myself and I don't like men and I prefer to die alone, right? And I prefer to have my cats. And on the flip side, you see a bunch of people saying that, man, I really want companionship. I want friends. I want a man. I want this. I want that. And I want more people in my life.
No, I think it's a balance. Some people need some seclusion, they need some time to themselves, and also time with others. Everybody needs time with others. Like, I'm almost positive on this. There's very few people that can just be alone and never talk to anybody for the rest of their life. Those people are rare. Most people have to have some conversation, have to have some interaction. It's a normal thing. And this is why feminism really screwed women over. Strong and independent don't need no man. I can do all bad all by myself. Well, congratulations. You're about to do it all by yourself. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And thank you guys next time. Ciao.